Because it said you was a host when you logged in.
I am. Welcome. Hey, who's doing the introduction?
Oh, me. I didn't see you start recording.
I was going to say, I don't think I'm supposed to do that, but you want me to?
All right. Now I see the red light. Record. Hey, everyone. I am Bernita Doolittle. I'm a Gold Ambassador with Plexus, and welcome to our 5th installment of Plexus Products 101. We got some exciting stuff on tap tonight with our Edge and MetaBurn. So Miss Whitney Ward is going to talk about some Edge info with you, and then Miss Emily Barlow is going to tell you some of the things that it has done for her. And at any time you have questions, go down in the chat and type them up. And any of us who have something to do with Edge, we can chime in after Emily is done also. So welcome. Go for it, Whit.
All right, awesome. Okay, so guys, the energy market is a huge industry, right? Like energy drinks, caffeinated beverages. We've all experienced that need for a little boost. And we've all probably also experienced that huge crash in the afternoon or the jitters when we have a caffeine overload. So basically what the Edge is the next generation clean energy that is super affordable, and it has ingredients that are clinically proven and patent pending. And they also, like, there's hundreds of years of research on a lot of these ingredients that are so cool. So basically what you can expect from taking this little gem is healthy, sustained, noticeable energy. And not just that, my favorite thing that I get from the Edge is the mental clarity, the sharper thinking. That's something that is extremely noticeable for me with Edge. And it also gives you more focus and concentration. There's actually some really cool testimonials for ADD and ADHD with this product. It can even help boost your mood a little bit. So, and who doesn't love that? So let's talk about, just highlight a couple of the ingredients. The theocrine, that is a naturally occurring ingredient from the tea leaf. It's non-habit forming, which is a good thing, mood enhancing, and it boosts your dopamine. Also, the L-theanine, that's an amino acid from green tea leaves that helps with focus and memory. I love that the caffeine sources in here are natural. That makes all the difference. It does come from a roasted and unroasted coffee bean, sorry. There's only 90 milligrams of caffeine in here, which is equivalent to the size of a small cup of coffee. But you won't get the jitters or the big crash with that. One of the reasons why, it's the L-theanine, it actually has like a calming effect, doesn't it? So at the same time that you're getting in, like, I call it a gentle energy, because it's not like a huge, like, boost, but more like sustainable throughout the day, which I love. Another thing that is absolutely fabulous is you can take Edge for less than $1 a day. And that is way cheaper than those energy drinks that are causing you more harm than good, and even a cup of coffee. So that's the Edge. And I'll turn it over to Emily.
Good evening, everyone. I originally started taking Edge for the focus and the mood, not the energy. So I love that Whitney talked about that. And then later I took it for energy, but I don't notice a huge boost of energy. But like I said, I notice when I take it, I feel like I can focus my mind. I don't know if I have a little bit of ADD or ADHD, so I could focus. I could sit down at my desk or to do my work and focus a little better, and it made a huge difference. I'm excited we're going to talk about MetaBurn tonight too, because I switched over to MetaBurn, so I haven't taken Edge for a while, but before I was taking it for my mood, and I noticed a big difference with my depression. after I'd been taking it for a while in the mornings for focus and for mood, I have restless leg syndrome. And I noticed at night that I was starting to have, it happens when I get really tired. And so it used to be that I could just go to bed when my legs started feeling restless. Well, I started having problems where I would sit down at night to watch TV and relax, 7, 8 o'clock at night when everything's kind of done and I just want to kind of chill out. And I wouldn't be able to because my body would feel so fatigued that my legs would start, I say wigging out. They'd start kind of crawling and I just want to sit and relax and I'd have to get up and move around. And I thought, I wonder if Edge would help me because like I said, I haven't ever noticed a huge boost of energy. I think that's because of the theanine, the L-theanine, and the other 2 ingredients that kind of take those jitters or that huge spike away. They have a calming effect on the body. And so I thought, I'm going to try it and see if that makes a difference. Totally did. So I started taking an Edge between 3 and 5 late afternoon. And that would keep, I think, my body just awake enough to not have my restless legs kick in until after bedtime, which was awesome. So I don't want to confuse anyone because caffeine and restless legs are not typically something that you want. Caffeine would typically irritate or aggravate the restless legs. So I think if I was trying to take it later at night, it would keep my body awake. You know what I mean? That fight. But because I would take it early enough in the day, it would just keep me a little bit more awake for longer so that doesn't kick in. So in the beginning, I would have said I don't really notice a huge difference in energy. I was taking it for focus and mood, but it definitely, I can tell it makes a difference in my body for energy, more of like not a hyper energy like a soda or something would do, but just a really calm energy, if that makes sense. Some would not. I feel like I'm a little crazy to say. So loving it for both of those things. Does anyone I don't see any questions.
I know
I'm excited to hear about MetaBurn because I actually switched over to MetaBurn for my mood and focus, and that works awesome too.
I know some people still take it for a pre-workout, and I think some do MetaBurn and Edge.
Well, I may have to try that because I've noticed that my restless legs has been worse again. And because I started taking the MetaBurn, I didn't want too much caffeine in my system. So I stopped taking the Edge, but I may try it as a later in the day because that really helped me kind of get through those evening hours before bedtime. So I might have to try it again.
Well, keep us updated, please.
Do them both, yes.
Yeah.
All right.
My husband uses the Edge and the Active as his pre-workout. I just thought I'd throw that in there. He loves it as a pre-workout.
And Stacy, you just started using Edge.
I did. I was using it when it first came out, but I would find that actually it would make my stomach a little upset. And last I was taking it with food. So that was really important for me. And I know not everyone is like that, but I found especially with protein, and I really haven't had any issues. I did just start taking it again after not taking it for quite some time. And in fact, it was suggested by Janelle, and that is helping me as well, just to give me that little extra oomph that I need during the day. So yes, I've been happy with the return.
Yay. All right. Well, we're moving on to Rachel Rocks. She's going to tell us all about MetaBurn, and she's got an awesome testimony about it.
Yes, I love this product. So when this product came out, this is the bottles, the top's not really black. I just switched bottle tops. But when this came out in December, I rolled my eyes and I was super skeptical. So I didn't tell anybody that I was using this for about 2 weeks. So I got it and I was like, well, I want to see what this stuff does. And I was super skeptical. I was like, oh, another weight loss product, because its job is to help support fat burning. It helps support, oh, sorry if I froze. Am I back? Okay. It helps support improved metabolism, weight loss, mood, energy. So it might sound similar to Edge, but it's not. It has a special ingredient called 5-HTP, and 5-HTP's job is to help with, it's a mood stabilizer. So Edge doesn't have that. It doesn't have that mood stabilizing effect for per se, but MetaBurn does. And I think that's one of the first things that I noticed is that there was a boost in my energy, and it wasn't like this, like rocking the world rabbit energy. It was just like, okay, I'm feeling pretty good. And then my mood was better. And then it was just like this gentle decline, which Edge does too. But I like that. The other thing I noticed is it helped break my weight loss plateau that I had sat at for probably a year. And I wasn't expecting that. I was just kind of went into this with an open mind, and I liked that effect of it too. Well, then Active came out. I have to add this in because this is very significant in my Plexus journey. This came out in June at convention, and I rolled my eyes and thought, oh, great, another energy product. But as I used it, I liked that it had that little kick to it because it is for energy. But then I got this inspiration one day to combine Active with MetaBurn when I take X Factor in the morning, and to move my Slim to the evening. And I have a naturally high energy, so I was a little bit nervous because I didn't want to have that much caffeine like sourcing through my body. But it's not like a ginormous amount. I mean, it's really not that much. But the coolest thing that I noticed is it took that anxious edge that my energy tends to have. So if you know someone with ADHD, that's me. Like, I have this, I will always say that nursing school gave me ADD, and this takes that edge off. So when I combine this with MetaBurn, it chills me out to where I still have energy, but it's not like I have to get 1,000 things done, and if I don't, I'm gonna go crazy. Like, it really, so I feel like these two products, for some, like, not everyone can take this because the 5-HTP is a mood stabilizer. So if you take antidepressants or mood stabilizers, you don't want to take this. Edge would be your friend. But if you don't, then this would be your friend. The other product I used to take before I got pregnant was Accelerator. Because of the 5-HTP, I really liked that mood stabilizing effect that it has. But I do have a tendency to, Emily could attest to this, that I do have a tendency to sink into the dark spiral rabbit hole. And I feel like this has lessened that from happening. And then when I started combining them together, it really helped to stabilize my mood and then my energy too. So if anybody has any questions, you can pop them down below, because these are two of my very favorite products.
That is awesome. And you said in the morning you take X Factor plus the Active and the MetaBurn?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I take them together. If I'm going to go work out, I will combine 2 scoops of lean in with my Active. Vanilla specifically is like an orange creamsicle. So I will do that about an hour to 45 minutes is what I shoot for before I work out. And I am sustained for an entire hour with my workout. And then I go home and make a really substantial protein-filled breakfast. But I've noticed that if I like to drink it first thing in the morning when I first wake up. So I'll put it in some water and shake it up and take it with my MetaBurn and X Factor Plus, and it really helps to jumpstart my system. And I remember as a nurse in the hospital, my patients that were coffee drinkers would say, I have to have my coffee in the morning or I don't poop. And there's something to say about that with your caffeine. Yes. So, but I love these products. So when I combine them together, then I just shake up some lean if I'm going to go work out. But I do it on an empty stomach and I eat within an hour, and there isn't any jitters like you would expect there to be. But if I go longer than an hour, then I'm a hot mess. So and I'll overeat. But that's probably a lot of information that everybody wants to know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Does anyone else have any MetaBurn 411?
I'll just add in something that I love about MetaBurn, and this is partly why I switched from Edge to MetaBurn. But I think maybe I look at MetaBurn as like Edge plus a bonus, right? Because it has some adaptogenic herbs in it: ginseng, rhodiola, grains of paradise, estrogen. I don't know. I think there's another one, but they're adaptogenic herbs, which means that your body can use what it needs. And they're very soothing for your adrenals and good for your thyroid, which both things I wanted support in. And so I felt like for me, MetaBurn was Edge with the bonus. However, and again, everybody is different. So I do great with MetaBurn in the morning, but I don't do good if I take, because the dose is 2. I don't do well if I take 2 or take it later in the day. It starts to interfere with my sleep, which is weird because it's actually less caffeine than an Edge is. So even if I take it, so I think there's something else with the other herbs or something. And so for me, I actually think I'm going to start taking the Edge again in the afternoon and see if it makes a difference for my restless leg, because maybe some of the herbs my body needs, but too much, maybe it's too much. I don't know. But I felt like MetaBurn, like I said, was Edge plus a bonus. So maybe there's a place for both of them, depending on what you're needing and how your body responds.
I love that, Emily. Can I just add one more quick thing on how I work that in the afternoon so people know? Okay. So what I do in the afternoon with my afternoon snack is I take the MetaBurn, because the dose is 2. So I'm glad, Emily, you brought that up. The dose is 2. So I take this in the afternoon with my second X Factor Plus. And I do that for 2 reasons. I take it between 2 and 4 whenever I have an afternoon snack. And I do that so that my energy is sustained. But I've also noticed, as I've been taking this consistently, that it keeps I have a really big appetite. And so it keeps that appetite stable to where I'm not going to crash and burn and eat everything in sight. It helps me to keep my meals about 3 to 4 hours apart. And that's one thing I've really appreciated about those 2 products, being able to do that. So I take my first one in the morning with Active and X Factor Plus, and then I try to keep that time consistent about 8 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes it's a little bit earlier, depends on what I have going on. And then in the afternoon, I take a MetaBurn and an X Factor Plus together with an afternoon snack that always includes protein and a fat source. So it's usually like almonds and a stick of cheese and some kind of fruit. And that way my blood sugar is stable and I'm not going to overeat or binge before dinner and then still have dinner to eat. So hopefully that's supportive for someone that maybe needs that.
That's awesome. And Laurie, pooping machine. Those of you watching it later cannot see her chat comment, so I'm going to call her out. Do you want to talk about that at all, Laurie?
Well, when I first started taking it, I was taking the 2. And I got like major cramps. It was bad. And so I cut back to 1 for a little bit and then worked myself up again. But man, it was kind of scary being in public places.
I think we've all been there, but that's good for people to listen to their bodies.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to do that, take them separately.
Can I add one more thing really quickly, just to remind
Absolutely.
anyone who's watching and maybe hasn't tried one, or maybe tried it and weren't sure that you liked it right off the bat. I love that we have so many different options because our bodies are so different. And like, I don't do well with a second Metaburn, but I can take Edge at 5 o'clock at night, which has more caffeine, and I'm fine. It doesn't bother my sleep. Rachel does amazing with the second Metaburn in mid-afternoon. We're all so different. And so to be able to just kind of experiment, and Stacy had said she has to make sure she takes her Edge with some protein. Rachel mentioned that. I'm the same. I have to eat some good, I don't have to eat a lot, but I've got to make sure I have some good protein in my body when I take either one of them. But I know also when I first started taking Edge, it took my body some time to adjust to it. I don't know if it wasn't used to such a good, clean source of caffeine, but it took my body a little bit of time to adjust. And same with Metaburn, trying to figure that out. How many could my body handle, and what times of day worked best. And so I just encourage anyone who's considering either to keep that in mind, and know sometimes it just takes a minute of us trying to see how it works with our body, and give it more than a couple of days, to let your body have a couple of weeks to adjust.
Definitely need to troubleshoot and reach out to the person who helped you.
Yeah, I was just going to say that if you're new to these products and you watch this recording, it's really important that you reach out and work with your sponsor, because that person is assigned to you as your coach, and he or she will help you to work through and maybe adjust the routine, maybe adjust products, and coach you through maybe a funky phase you might be going through as your body adjusts to the natural ingredients in the product. And maybe it's just a tweaking of a dose or a tweaking of a time of day, but it is really important that you work with your sponsor as your coach and your guide, because that person is a few steps ahead of you. And if they don't know the answer, they can reach out to their sponsor or to the group and to find an answer for you.
Very good. All right. Well, I don't see any questions, so we're going to wrap it up. And thank you guys for joining us tonight. I know it takes a lot to schedule and take time out of your evening, so I appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week. Same time.
Bye.
Bye.